Hello students. So here we are today to start our new chapter, that is Introduction to Organic Chemistry. Okay. So today we are going to learn about organic compounds. So what are organic compounds? First we have to know about it. So organic compounds are basically known as hydrocarbons. Okay, hydrocarbons. So hydrocarbons contain two main elements, which are hydrogen and carbon, right? So hydrocarbons are mainly organic compounds. Okay, so here we are going to learn about this type of compounds, but in several cases or in several compounds except hydrogen and carbon, different types of elements like nitrogen, okay, chlorine, so that type of elements can also be present. So here in this chapter we are going to study about hydrocarbons and their derivatives. Derivatives means which contain elements other than hydrogen and carbon also. Okay, so let's start. So first we have to know about the hydrocarbons. Okay, so our first topic is hydrocarbon. So as I have said, hydrocarbons are those compounds which contain carbon and hydrogen as their basic or main ingredient. Okay, main elements are hydrogen and carbon. So there are many types of hydrocarbons depending on its structure or depending on the arrangement of atoms. We can classify hydrocarbons basically into two main types. So what are the types? The first type is open chain or acyclic or aliphatic. So many names are there for single type of compounds. So the first type is open chain or acyclic or aliphatic compound, and the second type is closed chain or cyclic compounds. Okay, the first type is open chain or acyclic or aliphatic compounds, and the second type is closed chain or cyclic compound. Now these are the main two types, or these are the main two categories. Now this type can also be classified into more types. So what are they? Just like the first one, it can be subdivided into two types. One is saturated compound, and the second one is unsaturated. Okay, the first type is saturated and the second type is unsaturated. So what are saturated compounds and what are unsaturated compounds? First we have to know about it. So saturated compounds are basically containing carbons and hydrogens, but all the bonds inside that compound are of single bond. Okay, are of single type. So in the compounds, in open chain compounds, okay, so first I need to explain open chain and closed chain, then I will go in discussion about this. So first I am just showing you the types. So these are two, saturated, unsaturated. After that, unsaturated are of two types, alkene and alkyne. Okay, and the second type, that is closed chain or cyclic compounds. This can be classified into two more types. One is alicyclic. First one is alicyclic and second one is aromatic. Okay, alicyclic and aromatic. Now I am going in further discussion of this type of compounds. So basically The first one is open chain. So I'm just removing this part to show the structures, because basically depending on the structures the classification is made. Okay. So what are the open chain compound? From the name it is very clear that the chain is actually open. There is a presence of a chain, but the ends are not closed. Okay. So if we can get a chain of carbon atoms, then the starting carbon and the carbon that is present at the end, both of them are not joined to each other. So there is no direct joining between the carbons present at the edges or present at the terminated positions. The terminated carbons are not directly joined between each other. So this is called open chain compound or acyclic. Acyclic means which is not cyclic, okay, which has no cycle or no ring type compound or no ring like structure. And another name is that is aliphatic compounds. So basically this type of compounds are known as aliphatic compounds or open chain compounds. Okay. Now what are the two types? Now it can be classified into two types. The first one is saturated and second one is unsaturated. So saturated means what? In saturated open chain compounds or in saturated aliphatic compounds, all the bonds that are present between the carbon atoms as well as all the bonds that are made with the hydrogen, all of them are single bonds. Okay, all the bonds are single bonds. So at the upper position also the bonds could be present. Okay, so all the bonds that are present here all are single bonds. So no double bond or no triple bonds are present here. So this type of compounds are called saturated compounds. Now unsaturated means what? Unsaturated compounds now contain one or more double bonds or triple bonds. Okay, one or more double bonds or triple bonds, and depending on the presence of double bond or triple bond, it can be classified as alkene or alkyne. So what are alkene? Alkene are those compounds which contain double bond between them, and alkyne are those compounds which contain triple bond between them. So alkenes are just like this type of compound when two carbon atoms are sharing a double bond or more than one double bond between them. So here I have just shown only one double bond. Okay, so this is an example of alkene. Example of alkene. Now if one triple bond is present here, that means three bonds are present between two carbons. Okay, just like this. So then at that case no hydrogens will be present here, because carbon can maximum have 4 bonds. Okay, this concept should be clear first, that carbon can have maximum 4 bonds between them. So if there are a triple bond between the middle carbons, then no hydrogen atoms will be attached with those carbons. Okay, so this is one example of alkene. This is the example of alkene. So these are the compounds. These are the compounds which are called aliphatic compounds, okay, or open chain or acyclic compounds. Next we are going to the next type, that is closed chain compound or cyclic compound. So in closed chain compound again there are two types. One is alicyclic. The first one, that is alicyclic. So what is alicyclic? So alicyclic compounds are those compounds which have so many properties that are similar to that of the aliphatic compounds or open chain compounds. Okay, so they are having many properties which are quite similar to that of the aliphatic or open chain compounds. And in case of this, in case of closed chain compound, we could see that there could be the presence of only single bonds or double bond or triple bonds, but in this form. Example I am showing, just like suppose 3 carbon atoms are there. So 3 carbon atoms will be bonded in this manner. Okay, 3 carbon atoms will be bonded in this manner. So if we could see a open chain compound, it would look like this: CH3, CH2, CH3. That is the open chain compound, okay, where there is no direct joining between the two end carbon atoms. But here, when these two carbon atoms are joined between each other, okay, when they are directly joined, so then we are getting this type of cyclic compound, okay, and the name is given as alicyclic. This is example of alicyclic, and this is example of acyclic. Don't confuse between them. Acyclic means which is not sharing a ring or cycle between it, and alicyclic means which is having a cycle in it or a ring like structure in it, but also it can show the properties of aliphatic compounds. That is the difference, okay. So now what is the name of this compound and what is the name of this compound? So you have learned not many things, but you have learned you have got a very you have got a very small idea about this type of compounds in class 10, okay, that whenever 3 carbon atoms are present, then what type of word root we use for this? We use prop. And saturated hydrocarbons which is having only single type of bond in it, that is called actually alkane, okay. Three type of open chain compounds or aliphatic compounds are there. One is saturated are called alkane, and two are unsaturated. In unsaturated, the first type, that is double bonded compound, is known as alkene, and the third type, that is the triple bond, that is known as alkyne. So this is the first type where we can see only the presence of single bonds. So this type of compound is called propane, okay, because 3 carbon atoms. So this word root you have to add here, and as only single bonds are present, so it is an example of saturated hydrocarbon. So you have to add N here, ANE, okay. Now same type of bonding we could see here, that all the bonds are single bonds, but the difference with it is that it is a cyclic compound. So in case of this type of compound, you have to add the word cyclo before writing the name. So the name will be cyclopropane. The name is, this part is same with this part, but only you have to add the prefix cyclo before the name, before the UPAC name of this compound. So this is cyclopropane, okay. So I think this is clear for you all, that what is the basic difference between alicyclic and acyclic compound, okay. So in similar way, if there are 4 carbons, then you have to write here butane, and if 4 carbons are attached by single bonds and are present in a cyclic form, just like this, then it should be named as cyclobutane, okay. Normally it is known as butane, and when it is present in the cyclic form, then it is known as cyclobutane. So these are all the names for this type of hydrocarbons, for this type of alicyclic compounds. Next we are going to discuss about aromatic compound. So what are aromatic compounds? So aromatic compounds are also cyclic compounds, but here basically benzene ring is present, which contains 4 carbon atoms in it, okay. Normally if only 6 carbons are present without having any single bond, suppose this one, this type of compound is present, then this is an example of alicyclic compound where there are no double bond. So this is known as cyclohexane. Why hexane? Because 6 carbons are present here. If there is only one double bond, okay, if there is only one double bond here present, then it will be called, double bond means in, ENE. So just only the change that will occur here, that is cyclohexene, okay, cyclohexene. If there would be a triple bond, if there is a triple bond, then the name will be changed into hexane, cyclohexane. Okay, now what will happen in case of a benzene ring? In benzene ring, here we could see the presence of alternative double bonds. Okay, that means a double bond is present in accordance with a single bond. So alternately we could see the arrangement of double bond and single bond in this type of compound, and the name of this type of ring is benzene ring. This is called benzene ring. Okay, and this is the example of aromatic compound. Aromatic means what? Aroma. This word actually means very sweet smell. So actually this type of aromatic rings or the compounds that contain benzene ring in it, that are of very sweet fragrance. So this type of compounds are called aromatic compounds. Okay. So benzene is the basic structure of aromatic compound. Now many similar type of compound we could see that looks like benzene. So benzene is shown in a simple form in this way. Okay, this is the structure of benzene ring. So now if two or more benzene rings are present in the chain or in any compound, then it is also an example of aromatic compound. So this compound is known as naphthalene. Okay, this is known as naphthalene. So similarly many other compounds we can see, just like phenanthrene, anthracene. Okay, if one benzene ring is present, then it is only benzene, and if two or more benzene rings are present, then the name will be different. Compounds, the cyclic compounds are actually of two types. Cyclic compounds are of two types. So what are the two types? The first one is homocyclic compound and heterocyclic compound. Okay, homocyclic and heterocyclic compound. So what are homocyclic compound and what are heterocyclic compound? Homocyclic compounds contain only one type of atom. Okay, only one type of element. Just like only carbon atoms are present in the basic chain. Okay, the basic chain only contain the carbon atom. But in heterocyclic compound, in the basic chain, along with the carbon, different types of elements like oxygen or nitrogen could be present. Okay, so first we will see the examples. So in homocyclic compound, only carbon is present. Only carbon is present in the ring, and in heterocyclic compound, other than carbon, that means any atom other than carbon can also be present in the cyclic ring. Okay, so now the homocyclic is having two types. So in my first part I have in the first part I have told that cyclic compounds are of two types, that is aliphatic and aromatic. No, the homocyclic part is having two types, that is, the first is alicyclic. The first part is alicyclic and the second part is aromatic. Okay, the first part, that is alicyclic, and the second part, that is aromatic. So alicyclic part I have just shown you, just like 3 carbon or 4 carbons are present in a ring or in a cyclic form. So these are called alicyclic, just like this one. If 6 carbon atoms are present, okay, in a cyclic form, so then the name of this compound will be, as 6 carbon atoms are there, so the name of this compound is cyclohexane. Okay, cyclohexane. But when, similarly, if one or more double bond or triple bond is present here, so it will be cyclohexene or cyclohexane. Okay, I have already shown that. And next part is that aromatic. So aromatic means the benzene ring. Okay, that also I have shown. So now next thing is that what is heterocyclic? So heterocyclic means which contain a atom that is other than carbon. For example, suppose 4 carbon atoms are present here. Now 1 oxygen can be present in this part. Okay, in heterocyclic compound 1 oxygen is present in this part, and here 2 double bonds are present at alternate positions. So here the structure is CH, just like this one. Okay, the name of this compound is furan. F-U-R-A-N, furan. Next type of compound, that is the same way nitrogen could be present here. Okay, in the same way nitrogen could be present here. So in this case the name is, one hydrogen will be present, the name is pyrrole. When one oxygen is present here, then it is furan, and when one nitrogen is present here, then it is pyrrole. So here in heterocyclic compound, here we could see that there it is unsaturated type because it is sharing 2 double bonds in it. Okay, so these are the examples of heterocyclic compound. So these are all the cyclic compounds. Okay, basically there are 2 types: homocyclic, heterocyclic. Homocyclic has the part that is alicyclic, which is having aliphatic type of properties, and the second part is aromatic, where alternate positions double bonds are present. Basic part is benzene, and after that the heterocyclic, which is having this type of elements other than carbon. Okay, so in our next video we will learn about the UPAC names of the organic compounds. Thank you everyone.